We are back. No, well, we take phones. We are back, and this is Impact on KLOS. My name is Frank Sontag, and we are going to suspend the calls that are coming in because we are segueing into, as I said a while ago, another portion of the program. We do have an in-studio guest who, I guess you were stranded outside for a little bit of time, huh?
That's true.
Well, we won't talk too much about that. My in-studio guest has been here a number of times before, more times than I can even count on, I'd say hands and feet probably now.
For sure.
He is the founder of the Frontline Foundation. His name is Ray Castellani, and it's always good to see you, Ray.
And it's always beautiful to see you, and good morning to you.
How are you?
I'm all right after the experience trying to get in the gates here. I said, they don't want me, but no, I'm fine.
I have to share something with you right off the top. The end of June, I've been asked by an organization, a center that it's like, wow, you're asking me to talk at your center? It's the Santa Monica Zen Center, which is a very spiritual place, and I went and I met with them a few weeks ago, and the main person says to me, so I've heard your show. Who's that guy you have on that feeds the street people? I like him. He just puts it out there. And I said, you're talking about Ray. He says, oh, yeah, I like him. So there you go. You put it out there, Ray.
Well, how about that? I like that, and that's good. That's beautiful. Frank, before we get started, again, I've got to thank you, and I've got to thank your listeners. The multitude of people that are involved through you and I on this radio show is phenomenal with Frontline. And so there's too many to thank one at a time, but there are just hundreds of them now, and hundreds of people that are involved with Frontline through you and I being on this show. It's your show that has propagated so much energy towards the betterment of mankind. I mean, it's phenomenal.
And as hard as it is for me to even grasp that this radio program constantly reaches new people, and that some people right now have never heard you before, and for those that have, talk about Frontline a little bit.
Well, first of all, a staggering figure. When I first came on your show, which was 1988, I think it was 88. Yes, 88. It was December of 88, because I met you in 88. And Frontline serves food to an area known as Skid Row, downtown Los Angeles. And we have served, I think we just incorporated it as called Frontline. We had served over 40,000 meals to that area. This week, we surpassed 575,000 meals. It's pushing 580,000. So this is 10 years down the road a piece, and we have just band together. We've incorporated in 501c3 and established ourselves in that area of serving food. But I've said many a times, it's not the food, it's the energy, it's the compassion, it's the love, it's the tolerance and understanding of people for people that makes this Frontline work in this area. We're not dealing with homeless we're just dealing with people. I like to get away from that. I know they're homeless and all that, but I like to get to the people part. They're people that are in a little bit of a need, and I'm just performing a service, or Frontline is performing a service for this in the capacity of food. And the food is donated to schools, thousands. Frank, for the one or two that are listening right now and saying, oh, I don't want to help these people, that's fine. It's no big deal. I'm not after those people. But the thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are involved in Frontline is a tremendous, tremendous area of humanity that helps people. And I want that understood, that there are schools that 12 or 1,300 students that are involved. There are several of those schools, organizations, companies that are involved in this entity, and just helping out. a can of tuna fish, the $3 Club, which we'll talk about later, which has been phenomenal. So that's what Frontline is. It's just a group of volunteers banding together, serving about 1,100 meals a week, and have the capability of serving much more with a low overhead. Probably I could, with all these different little clubs, the dinner that is coming up on your dinner that is coming up on Tuesday, our brunches, and the Frontline 80, all these different little clubs to suit everybody, has managed to almost be able to serve food to probably 5,000 people for an overhead of about $2,500, $3,000.
And for those that may have never heard you before, they'll go, okay, right away, he's a guy, he feeds the homeless, he has a big organization, he probably has a lot of experience in putting together big organizations, and where do I fit into this? One thing I want to just get into right at the beginning is something very important that you said, I don't like to get into this homeless thing. They're people.
Right.
They're people.
That's what it's about. I have to bring it to that level.
And when we do hear this, well, it's homeless, it's this, doesn't it promote separation?
Totally. Frank, I've said, I remember I wrote a letter to a newscaster one time, and I said, we have segregated the segregated. We have separated everything in our society so that we're all separate individuals going around trying to be together, and it's never going to happen. And any time that there's a separation in any form, I've segregated myself to the rest, or to the populace, whatever you want to say, and there's going to be a problem there, because the group is either better than or worse than, and when you get that going, you got a problem. I want what you got, and you want what I got, and we're better than you, and so on. So it goes. It's and I just want to go into the people. I just care about people. If you don't care about people, I don't want to hear about it. I don't, because the individual that says I don't care about those people, he's a people or she's a people, and forget that, because the self-centeredness of self and the selfishness of humanity comes in, and it's horrid.
And along those same lines, we just very recently, saw an interview that you were involved with on a TV station back east, and the hostess asked you, are you concerned about this issue of homelessness? And I'm not sure how she posed it, but your response was, it's about society. I mean, it's not just about this segment of our society, it's about society as a whole.
Right. I mean, that's what I have to address. When I'm asked that question on a personal basis, I mean, I'm dealing with society. I'm not dealing with this. What would I say if they said, well, about lawyers or doctors? It's okay to deal with those. It's okay to have your body cut up and thrown away, and the doctor says, hey, no big deal, I'm a doctor, and everybody is fine. But as soon as some homeless person, supposedly we're talking about homeless, does something like that, then it's we don't want the homeless on our street or something. So if I deal in the area of people, that's what I want to always remember. That's what I'm about. I'm not about Skid Row. I'm not about serving food. I'm just about people. I just care about humanity. I care about our society. I care about our state of affairs in our cities, and one human being. Believing this for myself, I'm not trying to spread it to anybody else, but Frank, if we have been on this show, I have been on with you for it'll be 9 years this year, and we have our society has progressively gotten worse in that period of 9 years. It hasn't. You're not on the radio show here saying, by golly, isn't it wonderful the way things are going in our country and our city, and how everybody is all of a sudden. Remember how it was when there were gangs and there were shootings and drive-by shootings and killing, when we don't have that anymore. That's not the case. I mean, is it? I'm almost positive when I read the paper or hear the news, all I hear about is killing and murders and rapes, and there's more apprehension, there's more fear that's has infiltrated in the last 10 years. The young people of that were 10 years old 9 years ago when we met are now 19 years of age. A lot of them are doing good, but then of course, the population grows, so you're going to have more of each of whatever class you're going into. But my God, is it safe to walk the streets anymore? It's like New York used to be. Is it safe to walk the streets anymore? I want to bring my children up, or my brother, or my sister, or my cousin, my wife. I mean, they're shooting everybody, killing everybody, my kids, everything is going crazy. And everybody just keeps riding this wave of saying, well, I won't look at this, or I won't address that. And it all stems from another human being caring about another human being. That's where it stems from. And there's so much hate, and there's so much animosity. I mean, I haven't, unfortunately, your show is on so late, I'm asleep, but I'll bet you 10 to 1 there's people always want to start an argument, start a debate. Oh, man, the debaters. We have the people that always want to be against whatever it is you want to go for. So just to promote the argument, just to get that abrasiveness, sandpaper, going against the body. Take the sandpaper and put it on your face and scratch it a little bit and see how it hurts. That's the abrasiveness of the mind that goes against society when it does things like this. And so when I say that I deal in people, I deal in humanity, I deal in the betterment of mankind. That's what I'm for. I want to put a vote in for kindness. I want to put a vote in for tolerance. I want to put a vote in for compassion, for love. That's what I want to put a vote in. That doesn't mean I'm all this compassionate, loving. I'm a 100% better human being I was today than I was 10 years ago or 9 years ago when I started all this, because my understanding has grown deeper, and my capability for expressing my love and my feelings inside my heart has grown deeper, and that's what I've become. I understand much more than I did so many years ago, and I'm not so quick to judge. So these are, Frank, I mean, your daughter is a young girl. She's just a baby. I mean, don't you worry about her walking these streets?
Absolutely.
Doesn't anybody out there listening worry about what's happening? Their car will be hijacked. Isn't anybody concerned about these things? Or is it just a blah, blah? They just want to call up and argue all the time and say, oh, I don't like the homeless, and I don't like this, and I don't like the left wing or the right wing or the middle wing. How many wings are there? My God, there's 2 wings for the birds, and they fly. And but it's always debating, always arguing, always conflict, always abrasiveness, and I used to be that way. I'm not saying that but why not have people say, Frank, geez, I want to be together. I want to work together with you. I want to help. Maybe we can go out and how about this? Nobody's ever done this. Let's go out and shine everybody's shoes. Oh, nobody ever thought of that one, huh? I mean, what are you going to do today? Well, we're going to go out and we're going to go downtown and we're going to shine people's shoes. We got little shine boxes. Anybody ever think of that? No. But they'll think about the how much they hate the government, or how much they hate the state, or how much they hate Wilson, or whoever is the governor or the mayor and all that. I mean, they're all going to be talking the same thing. 100 years from now, the mayors will be talking the same talk. And the governors will be talking the same talk, and the people will be talking the same talk, and nothing will ever change. And all the agony and the pain of our society prior to this will all be the same. It will never change. They'll be talking about the same problems, the same issues, except they'll be more acute. We won't be able to breathe the air and things like that. So, but I walked into a room last week, and this group of people. I was there 20 years ago. They were asking the same questions and getting the same answers that they had 20 years ago. Can you imagine that? It was almost like, talk about a deja vu. It was a deja vu. Anyway, something that comes up again and you've seen before. Same questions, same answers. I couldn't believe it. 20 years later. I said, my God, isn't this amazing? I mean,
we like to talk about things.
I guess you do, but how many times can you talk about this? That's a whole new generation from 20 years ago talking about the same problems.
Well, part of what talk does, obviously, there's constructive manners to talk, but part of what talk does is it deflects a certain amount of knowledge that dictates part of the solution is to take action.
It is the
So
main.
if we keep talking, we don't have to take action.
Correct. And then on the other hand, too, is that the vitalness of expressing and talking and communing is when something is derived at that moment and people talk about it, they say, let's go out and do something about it.
Right.
And that's where the consummation of the knowledge puts into action after that. And so it must be brought to the foreground in order to be something done about it. Otherwise, everybody would not talk, and everybody would look at each other and say, well, nobody, you can't talk, but they would have this inquisitive look on their face because nobody would know what to do. So the communication of talk is the communication, but the other thing is the action taken upon that talk.
One of the things that has stayed constant with Frontline is an opportunity for anyone to really firsthand experience a part of our culture, of our society, that will impact them greatly. That's stayed constant. You've always said, if someone wants to come down and see what goes on in the streets of L.A., let's go. I'll take you there. That's stayed constant. Other organizations, it's like, here, send us a check, and we don't even know where the money goes, and we're taking care of this problem. Trust us. We're big. We're huge. And also, another area that Frontline continues to evolve is in different ways people can get involved.
Correct. It's the involvement that's so unique, because not only are they people like you and I, but we have women, we have old women, we have young men, we have old men, we have children now that are, I'm starting a new, which I spoke to you about, a new little club, or not a club, but just a recognition group, something, where these children are involved. They're under 16 years of age, and they're sending in their $3 in a $3 club. These are children. I got 2 of them yesterday, 4 and 2. They don't know what their mother is doing it, but I'm writing each one a separate letter, and I'm going to save it that you don't know what you're doing right now, but so they pick it up 6 or 7 years from now, they'll be able to read that letter and say, hey, Ma, did I do this? Yes, you did. And so they're and a lot of things in memory of, which is another for the $3 club, which my mother and Noreen's father, happy birthday, Noreen, Noreen's father, and are involved in it. So people are seeing an outlet to say, oh yeah, I can help in this way, and then they're being remembered, and or this guy Todd that heard us on the radio, and we have all this juice that's going downtown that's marvelous juice, and it's phenomenal. That's from you and I, Frank. So he took an action and got his buddies, and they worked for the juice company, and we get this. It's going to expire in a day or two, but it's out there, and I call it the koalas, but it's Adwala. What is it? Adwala, and marvelous juice, and but these guys downtown are drinking this juice. I brought Friday down. I brought must have been about 60 or 70 gallons. I don't know, maybe even more. And they're just drinking it. They're loving it. I mean, to see people that could never afford this drink this juice is just something again. It's so. Anyway, the involvement of people, that he heard us on this radio show. That's the impact that this show has on people. So many people are with us, Frank. We don't even know. Oh yes, I heard you and Frank years ago. I get letters. God, the letters. I love the letters that I get a line or 2 or 3 or 4 here. Just beautiful letters from all sorts of people, and there's no hate in any of them. And it's just a marvelous situation that's going on. So there are hundreds of people, thousands of people that care because they hear us. I wish we were on all day long for 7 days a week. It would be nice for a half-hour show. But think what the power that we could do. We have generated so many people to help. And that's what the name of the game is. Instead of me sitting on my butt saying how wonderful everything is, and I'm grateful for being here, and I'm this and I'm that. I'm not God, you can, like I said, shine shoes. Wouldn't that be a beautiful trip? Or just walk down the street and see anybody that needs help for 1 hour a day. What do you do instead of going to the crippled children's thing or the blind this or the blind? Go out there and on the streets and see if you see anybody that needs a little help. Maybe somebody needs a little carrying their groceries to the car. That's not a big deal. Sit outside the Vons or one of those grocery stores and see who can need help for a half hour a day and just help humanity. Is that wrong? Is what I want to say. You see, I ask your listeners. I ask that person that's angry right now at me talking. We got a few of those out there, and saying, what did you do today? Well, I sat in front of the grocery store and I helped 6 people with their groceries, and I do that every day for a half hour. Oh. Can't conceive it, though. See, do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
And can you imagine what our society would be?
I can. I wish more of us could. I have one quick question, then we've got to take care of our first 2 rounds of breaks here. If someone would like to become more involved in Frontline, maybe they're not sure how, whether it's, again, volunteering in the kitchen, becoming a $3 club member, so many different ways to get involved.
Right.
What would you suggest they do right now?
Well, I have an address. Let me give you the address. It's Frontline Foundation, P.O. Box 570-303, Tarzana, California, 91357. Now, that address, and you can put it in care of Ray, because a lot of people do, you can jot a note down as to what you would like or how you would like to participate. The $3 club is this club that I started that will... actually, it was about a year ago, a little more than a year ago. We started with a couple of members. Now we're going to be pushing 200, which is just drives me crazy in the mind. I'm thinking about how many people are in $3 bill or a $2 bill or a $1 bill, for that matter. You get it in the mail at the beginning of every month. If it's hard for people to pay, and there's little boxes, and you can say, I want to go, I want to discontinue, I want to continue the month after next. And it's mailed to you, then you mail it back in a little blue envelope. And there's that way to participate. There's a Frontline brunches and that we have. There's a dinner coming up this Tuesday with
Which
you.
we're going to mention on the other side.
Right, that you come, you get involved. There's down, of course, obviously at the kitchen every morning from 8 o'clock, which I need a steady volunteer, a couple of them, 5 actually, 5 to beef up my teams on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. 5 days, and
for how long of a period of time?
About an hour, hour and a half in the morning. But it's got to be a committed time. It can't be I'm looking for 5 volunteers. I've got several hundred volunteers, but I'm looking for 5 more. And that's in Van Nuys, where we make the food, and that is at the corner of Sepulveda and Ventura. Sepulveda and Oxnard. It's on Oxnard, and you go into crossover on Oxnard, and the first left is an alley, and go through that alley, and when you go through that alley, you'll see a great big sign. It'll say Frontline Foundation. That's Oxnard and Sepulveda and Van Nuys, and so there are those where there's a Frontline 80. There's the product. They want to buy $4 a month for a jar of mayonnaise. There are so many different ways. You want to stay in your own city, your own town, your own thing, and raise little cans of tuna fish, because that's what I is one of my staples that I put out every day. We mix it and make it, and tuna fish. So they can have drives like that. They can any area, whether it be 5 minutes at home or 10 minutes at home, to solicit cookies. Robert Gary gives me all these beautiful cookies, and or if they like to any kind of sweets, candies, and stuff like that, they can have drives in there.
So you need lots of help.
Yeah, continually, because this food goes out 1,100 people a week, and I'd like to up that. So, and this $3 club is going to enable me, hopefully, to be able to hire my first human being on a steady basis to alleviate the tremendous pressure that is on me. And that's what it's about. So this group of $3 club members are the ones that are going to either, because I can't continue on. I mean, I can continue on in a much slower capacity, but I can't keep this up. I can't. I was downtown 3 times last week. I mean, the streets have been very hard on me the last 10 years. It's not an easy. It is not an easy chore for me. So this $3 club is my vision that came to me, and the hope of the future. If it is to continue, if it is not to continue, it's okay, because I could close the shop tomorrow and they'd say he's a bad man for serving, and the volunteers for serving 575,000 meals. So there's a place to vent your love, to vent your compassion, to vent your energies for mankind. I mean, this is a big word. Everybody talks, but here's a place that can vent your energies for mankind, for the betterment of mankind. And I've got people in Albany, New York, that are supporting our people in downtown Los Angeles. They're supporting Frontline Foundation to a large degree. There are people that are coming in from the internet. We're down on the internet for 3 weeks. Our server went out, but the internet has helped me a great deal, because people from Boston and Indiana and places like that, and Texas, are all helping me too. So it's beautiful.
Let me share the address again, and then we have to pause. Again, if you would like to take some type of action and be involved in Frontline in any way, shape, or form, obviously, as Ray has talked about, there's lots of ways to do that. The mailing address is P.O. Box 570303. The city is Tarzana, and the zip code is 91357. And we'll be back with more right after these.
Oregon safety tips.
Jiffy Lube professionals would like you to join them in celebrating the grand opening of their newest location in Torrance. Jiffy Lube at 5340 190th Street, just west of Anza.
We are back, and this is Impact on KLOS. My name is Frank Sontag. In studio, I have Ray Castellani from the Frontline Foundation. I think before I do anything else, let me give out the numbers here. If you'd like to be on the air with Ray this morning, if you have any questions or comments at all, we'd be interested in hearing from you, and the numbers are always the same. You know them by now, I would hope. They are 1-800-955-KLOS, 1-800-955-5567. If you have any questions or comments at all for Ray this morning, we'd love to hear from you. With one, I guess, slight stipulation, we want the calls that are based in love. No heavy calls either.
No heavy calls. It's too early in the morning. and I'm just not there anymore, Frank. I just not. You know, I just can't muster up the energy to combat any of the, I hate the word negative, but any of the adverse calls or adverse people. It's okay. Just let me do what I got to do. That's all. I'll let them do what they got to do, too. I mean, I'm not out to change anybody. I'm just out to do please just respect what I'm doing. And that's, I just can't do it anymore. I can't. I'm stopped. So, probably won't get any calls today. That's okay.
You mean I can't call and bitch them out or anything?
No. Frank, see, this is what it has to be. It has to be respect for oneself's, and I respect somebody else's entity. I respect their domain, whatever that. I don't mean domain where they live. I mean the domain inside their soul, and it's all okay. I'm not out there to try to influence or I'm just out there to help people, help humanity. I love the word humanity, society. I like humanity, but that's what I'm about. I'm not about trying to convince or trying to manipulate anybody to my way of thinking. My way of thinking is, I'll just lay this out so that everybody can throw shots at it or darts if they choose to, because sometimes you do get callers in here that want to say, "Oh, I've heard that guy before." And well, I believe in the principles of purity, of honesty, and of selfishness and unselfishness and love. I try to invoke compassion and understanding and tolerance into my life. So I got about 6 or 7 or 8 little things that people can knock me on. I was a lot of not so nice things years ago, and I've made that directional change in my life. And now this is what I I put out. And people pick up on it. Thousands and thousands of people pick up on it. And the other thing that picks up on it is I've got all of Skid Row that picks up on it. So anybody want to take me on, they're going to take me on in my territory or their territory. I'll bring my people with me. Because these people on Skid Row believe what I'm saying because they've seen my actions for 10 years. So I've got verification, testimony, that these principles survived in this area. And I walk the way, I've said this before, I walk the way I talk. So anybody that wants to challenge me, don't challenge me over the telephone. Meet me in person and come downtown with me, and then challenge me where you see what I'm talking about. And I'm very passionately concerned about that statement of mine, because I don't want anybody to think I'm some wishy-washy goody-goody two-shoes doing something for the betterment of me. Me is out of the picture. Freedom of self is another area of my life where I am. I am not concerned with me. I don't sing that song Do Re Me 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 anymore, and I am only concerned about the yous and the people and the all sorts of people, and that's what my concern is. I'm not into that selfish mode of life itself. I don't have to get myself better. I'm as well as I'll ever get today. Tomorrow it might be a little bit weller, but I'm just not involved with myself. I don't have a marriage with self. And that's why I'm able to talk this way, and that's what the people on the streets pick up on this. And that's why the young kids back east pick up on it. My God, this school, the academy was all excited. And then these kids out here, they're all excited. I mean, you see that little girl, Stevie, she just gets so excited when I see her. I just go crazy. But I mean, the kids understand what I'm saying. The adults understand what I'm saying. The people on Skid Row understand what I'm saying. So that's who I'm addressing. I'm addressing anybody that understands me. If they don't understand me, then they don't want. I don't want tolerance. I don't want love. I don't want compassion. This is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about how I hate, how I want to disembody the world, how I want to make these radical changes, how I want to kill, that's what we want to talk about? Don't talk to me. I'm going too far, Frank. But I mean, this is true, Frank. This is not baloney.
What's ironic is we hear all of that other stuff. We see it everywhere. We hear it. We watch it. We go to movies to see it. And when we talk about love, compassion, honesty, purity, we don't hear a whole lot of it. We don't see a whole lot of it.
That's true.
What does that say?
Because the identification is not there.
Right.
See, nobody can identify. People want to identify. I want to identify with that. Geez, I want to pound my chest and say, yeah, that's the way I want to feel. But you see, when I'm talking about against things, I'll have an army. I'll have an army of againsters. Say, oh yeah, I'm with you. And I've said, I don't identify with my sickness, my friends. Identify with my wellness. Anybody can identify with a sickness. I can get you all together, because when I say, well, I do this and I do that and I do this and I do that, I can say I cheat on my income tax. I'll have everybody with me, except the IRS. All I have to do is say one little phrase like that, or I work under the table for this company and they pay me in cash. And they say, oh, well, I do that. No big deal. A few $1,000s here and a few $1,000s there. I will have an army, legions of people that will fight. Oh, I love Ray. But God forbid if you stand up and you say, hey, I don't cheat. Oh, my God. It's the same old story when, I don't want to get into it. I'll go crazy here.
And the focus of Frontline is to serve. Is to just serve.
That's it.
Unconditionally.
With no conditions. That's it. But that's all I care about. No condition. I don't want you to feel good. I don't want you to feel bad, obviously. But I'm not doing it so that I don't want people to go downtown and serve food to humanity to get a good feeling out of it. That's not what I'm about. My God. Go to your husband's arms and you get a good feeling, or your girlfriend, or whatever. Go to a movie that you like, you get a good feeling. But freedom of self doesn't have any involvement with helping out humanity. It just doesn't. Our society says, yes, I'm here for me. I'll sit in this meeting and I'm here for me. Oh my, I'm so bored of that. It's crazy. Everybody goes for somebody else. It would be a utopia, beautiful room to be into. But no, I'm here for me. I'm here to better myself. I'm here. Oh my God, a lot of baloney. I don't ever want to better myself. I'm okay where I'm at. Maybe good, maybe bad, but it's not important.
Let's take some calls. Why don't you put on your headset? We've got a few folks that want to talk to you. And
Gentle calls.
I also want to make note that, as you've mentioned a couple of times, this Tuesday night, we're on Sunday time, so a couple of days from now, is the bi-monthly fundraiser that I host for Frontline, and we've got a handful of spots maybe still open. So if anyone is interested...
Yeah, we do.
A few.
Yeah, a few.
A few. Not too many, though.
They could call the hotline for the dinner if they want to.
They can call. I've got a number they can call.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if anyone is interested, Ray will be there. I'll be there. Your wonderful wife will be there.
And your wonderful wife.
My wonderful wife will be there, and some other wonderful people as well.
Sure.
We sit down, we break bread, we eat some good Italian food.
Right.
And obviously we...
It's the feeling in that room, and the offshoot of it is that it also helps other people. So
that particular event is if you're interested, it's at a location in the Valley in Encino. If you need any details or info at all, I will call you back later today. The number you can call is in the 818 area code. It's 594-2004.
And it's a $20 bill. 12 of it goes to the kitchen, 8 of it goes to Frontline, and I just said we need everybody's help. That's all. And so it's a way to be involved, another way without a powerful way to be involved, because those dinners are very important, and so are the brunches.
Lisa, you're on the air on KLOS with Ray Castellani. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Okay, Lisa.
Good. I know it's kind of a stressful time. I was just listening to you and working outside, and when you had mentioned about possibly doing things in our own city regarding making a few sandwiches and giving them out, my question to you is, there are city ordinances restricting the distribution of prepared or perishable foods to any person or persons, or whether it's charity or if it's for retail, for a fee. You have to get a permit. Have you run into problems like that, and do you have any suggestions?
No, I don't run into a problem like that, Lisa, but if you have to abide by the ordinances of where you are, obviously, and so maybe instead of making sandwiches,
anything perishable.
Well, buy candy or something like that, hard candy, or who knows. I can't answer that question because I don't have that problem, but I would, I just can't answer it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think there's a trying to deter a congregation in public places.
Yes, right.
And
this is true.
You know what I mean?
Yes, this is true. You can't gather a lot of people in a.
And I can't be selective, and I would can only think that would be the reason why they would.
Yeah, probably. And you have businesses and people and all that, and they don't want to be. They don't want to lose business because you're trying to help people. So it is a little difficult. There are ways around that. You could probably get a little room somewhere, or off the beaten path, and have an inside situation that where you can do this, or distribute food to churches and let them distribute it to people. So there's ways around it. I don't know them, but.
Thank you, Lisa. We appreciate the call. Interesting time when somehow, and you can be discreet about it. You can go to local park and give out some sandwiches and not make a big deal out of it. But Interesting times when it's almost illegal to help somebody.
Well, Frank, of course, there's many ways to help besides serving food.
Indeed.
And if there is a problem in that department, I would probably look for another way. Give out blankets, give out shoes. there's many ways. There's many things that need help. Let me put this. I love this thing. When the pupil is ready, the teacher will appear. And when I'm ready to do a job for humanity, the outlet will be there. I won't have to look for it. And that's a truism. It's it'll be there.
Mary Jo, you're on the air on KLOS with Ray Castellani. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mary Jo. Love that name.
Hi, yeah, I was wondering, you were talking about how we live for ourselves too much and we need to live for other people more.
I said me.
You, well, yeah. I think all of us.
Okay, well, but I'm not speaking. I just wanted to, Mary Jo, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I do not speak for anybody else except for me. I said I am out of that realm.
Okay, well, yeah. I think we should. But is it wrong, do you think, to live almost solely for other people? Like their need to be needed?
Let me
to feel complete or to feel whole in any way?
Mary Jo, the way I phrase that for myself is that I have passed into a region of freedom of self. Now, that means that I do not have anything going in my head about myself. That doesn't mean I'm living for someone else. It just means I'm free of myself. You understand that is a little tricky.
Yeah, a little tricky.
But so, I mean, if you don't interpret anything right now, if you take it as a pure thought from my head, that Ray only is free of self. Now, that doesn't not mean that Ray is living Carol or Billy or something like that. It means that I'm just free of self. That does not say I can't help myself in an area. If I wake up in the morning and I want a cup of coffee, obviously that's my cup of coffee, right?
Right.
So I don't want you to...
So you don't think it's a bad thing to wake up and need to do things for other people?
No, not at all. That I mean...
So worthy, you know.
Yes, they're I mean, you shower, you shower, you make meals for yourself, you buy shoes for yourself, you buy clothes for yourself, don't you like it when you put on a nice dress and you say, geez, this looks good, I feel good in this? No, that's all okay. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying that if I was obsessed with going out and buying shoes for myself, gotta get those shoes, would you mind come on? No, I gotta go buy those shoes, you understand what I'm saying? It's the obsession with self.
Or in the case of helping others, it's, oh, guess what I did today? So you share it with your friends. I went and I helped so and such, or I volunteered at I again, talking about
right.
The first and foremost thought is what I did. Appreciate the call, Mary Jo. We've got calls, and we've got about 10 minutes left, and what we're going to do is I think we're going to go to about 5 of, Ray,
okay.
And then take care of the last bit of commercials, and We'll be off and done by then. That way we won't be interrupted again for the next 10 minutes. Dan, you're on the air on KLOS with Ray Castellani.
Good morning, Ray.
Good morning.
Ray,
Is this Dan?
Yeah, this is Dan. Ray, so much of our culture seems to be based in money. A report came out this week as to the value of Mother Nature. Could you spend a minute and talk about what life is really about? And it's not about making money, or it isn't about money.
Well, Dan, a long time ago, I learned, I don't know how I learned it, but I learned it, is I don't deal in money. And Dan, for testimony for that, is that when I started this endeavor here 10 years ago, one of the things that was laid down to me was, Ray, I was to accept nothing, no compensation whatsoever for what I was to do. Now, I didn't know what I was going to do, and I was to solicit no money. Now, if you know, what I solicit here were programs of people that get involved. You say, well, that might be another way of asking for money. I don't want you to get involved. They don't want to get involved. I'm not asking for it. I'm not saying, hey, you got to get involved with a $3 club. So I'm not asking for it. I'm just, people want to get involved, and they say, how? So what has been done is there's all these different ways to get involved, and that's how I do it. Money does not enter into my picture. I have no bearing on money. Obviously, I have to run the front line, but if the money is not entering into my computer, it's out of my computer. And I know you say, well, how are you going to pay the rent? I don't care. That's not my focus. That's not my thing. Because the reason it is not in my life is because my focus, my being, my essence, my everything in me is focused for mankind. And if I thought about money, or if money came into the equation, I'd be trying to make money so that I could do these things, so that I could do these things and those things, and so on down the line. So it's just eliminated out of my life. It's just not there. I only speak for myself, Dan. But if money is my problem, I have no problems.
So the important thing in life is?
The only important thing in life is and I preface this, is that my focus be, and please understand me, everybody, it is to the betterment of mankind, to the betterment of my fellow man, woman, both, for the betterment of our society. That's what my focus is all about. And if I keep that in focus, I'll always be on the right. I'll always be safe in an area of where I am doing the most for people. And money is a tremendous deterrent for a man doing things for other men, women, and it's just a deterrent because everybody's worrying about money. I got to pay my rent. I got to pay my child. I mean, it drives people crazy. And they have robberies and killings and murders over money. I mean, greed. It just keeps going. It doesn't stop. Bank robberies, people. I mean, it's just amazing. What all for that little green dollar. Can you imagine what goes on for that little green stuff? I mean, isn't it awesome when you think about it?
It's terrible, too. Dan, thanks for the call. Tina, we've only got about 1 minute for your call because we need to put some closing comments and some other things on before we end the program. We appreciate it, and you're on the air on the Impact program with Ray Castellani.
Hi.
Hi, Tina.
I love you both, and your voice is like music to my ears sometimes because I quit watching TV. It's interesting to me. But anyway, what I really wanted to know, Ray, was it helps to hear your voice. You guys are making a difference because I wanted to join the $3 Club in the last few months, but this morning I've actually put it in an envelope.
I love you, Tina.
So it does help. But what I wondered was how could I start a food? Is there any way I can do a food drive to collect cans? Can you?
Yes. Where do you live?
I live in Ontario. By the
airport. You're in Ontario. You got next door neighbors?
Yeah, there's everywhere.
Okay, this is what. Okay, this is what you do. You get little cans of tuna. They cost 55 cents in the store. You go to your next door neighbor and you say, "Listen, I'm starting a food drive here." Well, what are you starting a food drive for? I'm going to feed some people in downtown Los Angeles. You go to your next door neighbor and you say, "Would you help me out?" Yeah, I'll help you. All I need is 1 can of tuna. Make sure you keep it on tuna. Go to your next door neighbor and get 1 can of tuna from them. And then while you're talking to whoever you're talking to, say you're doing this. And before you know it, Tina, you're going to be driving to do you drive?
Yeah.
Okay, you'll be driving to Frontline Foundation on a Saturday morning, just like so many other beautiful people, and you'll be saying, "Ray, I've got 400 cans of tuna fish here." And that's the way it'll be done. Because you are the instrument.
You know what? You make it so easy to make somebody to make the first step. See, I've been thinking a lot. You guys have awakened me again. I was in a daze from, what was going on. But you make it easy for somebody to make the first step.
That's all you got to do, Tina. Wait till you see what happens.
Yeah, well...
I guarantee you.
I hear you guys. I get excited.
Okay.
Well, thanks a lot.
Oh, don't forget, Tina, don't forget to do that now.
I won't.
Okay, just 1 can is more than I've had before. And 1 small 6-ounce can feeds 3 people. 1 6-ounce can.
That's so simple.
Okay.
I can do that.
Okay.
Okay, hey, I'll see you there when my car's...
Please, you don't have to get it full. Just bring a box over.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Tina. We appreciate the call. Oh, boy.
It's too much. It just is, Frank. I know you got commercials.
Yeah, we do. Let me give out the mailing address again. If anyone would like to drop you a line, say, "Thanks, Ray. I want to help. Anything I can do. How can I get involved?" The mailing address again, P.O. Box 570, 303 Tarzana, 91357. Again, P.O. Box 570, 303 Tarzana, 818-598-91357. If you're interested in coming to the dinner this coming Tuesday night, there's a number to call. I'll get back to you later today. Again, that number is 818-594-2004. 818-594-2004.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick, Frank, again, the power that you have put on for the last 9 years and the help, it can't even be measured anymore. That's how awesome it is. So what you have done here through your process, through your media, is awesome. It's beyond any words that I'll ever be able to, because you're the only one I've been on a continual basis. So you've really helped in the literal sense by what you've done, and I just know it. You just got to understand that I know what you've done. Okay?
Well, I'll say I thank you for that. I appreciate it, and also, it's the listeners. It's not me.
Well, yeah, but you're putting it out.
Okay, well, so are you.
You're taking the action. You're going all the time. You're here every week, every morning. Oh, I can't do it. I mean, I do my little bit, but you're out there on with these airwaves, getting these people and your lectures and all that, and they're all involved with the front line and helping humanity, and it's awesome.
I not only love what you do, Ray, but I love you immensely.
No,
you're such an inspiration, and
oh, thank you.
I look forward to our dinner Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Have some great food, have some fun, and thanks for coming down this morning.
Good morning to you, and good morning to all your listeners.
All right. Happy birthday, Noreen.
Happy birthday, Noreen. Oh.
That's it, and we'll take care of business and be back with a brief closing comment. This is KLOS Los Angeles. It is 8 o'clock straight up. This is KLOS Los Angeles. I've got enough time to just thank you for listening and for making the program possible, and also thanking again my guest, Ray Castellani, for coming down and spending a few moments with us. I hope that you will stay tuned. Long Paul is up next, and he has a whole lot of rock and roll for you. So on that note, we'll be back tonight at 12 midnight. My name is Frank Sontag. We'll see you then, and this is KLOS Los Angeles.